It's time to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers. I waited a while before making this video, and even after the Clippers dropped their first 6 games after the Harden trade, I still thought that they would turn it around quickly. However, it's been weeks, and the most recent loss to the Denver Nuggets is the worst one yet. Today we find out why the Clippers are struggling and what they can do to become a title contender once again. The Denver Nuggets, without two-time MVP Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordan, walked into LA and beat down the Clippers, thanks to 35 points from Reggie Jackson and a vintage DeAndre Jordan performance. Jordan ended the night with 21 points and 15 rebounds, dominating the Clippers front line. This is a game that you simply cannot lose if you have hopes of being a title contender. With any new team, we all know it takes time to build chemistry. Considering how stacked this Clippers team is though, they've had plenty of time to beat a Nuggets team who are down to guys I didn't even know were still in the league. The Nuggets have been really struggling during the time that Jamal Murray has been sidelined. And to make matters worse, Denver had to play with no Jokic and Gordan on top of that. The Clippers picking up an easy win on their home floor should have been a foregone conclusion. The final score tells a different story though, as the Nuggets pulled off one of the greatest upsets of the season so far. Credit to Denver, they played a great game, but this is way more about the Clippers' struggles than it is the Nuggets' triumph. Denver from start to finish were in the driver's seat. As against 4 future Hall of Famers, they made it look relatively easy. The Clippers would have had the Nuggets circled on that calendar. As when you are the reigning champs, you make a perfect measuring stick. Coming into the game, receiving the news that Jokic and Gordan would not be playing clearly made the Clippers take the foot off the accelerator, as they expected the W to be handed to them. The lack of energy in front of their home fans was a problem, but they have a lot more issues that are going to be much more concerning for this team moving forward. One of the problems for this Clippers team post James Harden trade has been the performance of Paul George. In this game versus Denver, he finished with 6 points, shooting 2 of 12 from the field. First of all, Paul George should be shooting way more than 12 shots a game. And second of all, he should be shooting at least 40% from the field. Even on a night like this for PG, I'd still like to see him continue to shoot the ball, as we all know how good he can be when he gets going. In the season prior, Paul George averaged 23.8 points a game on 46% shooting. If you look at PG's stats so far this season, they are around the same mark, which is crazy to say because he feels like he's been significantly worse. Against the Nuggets in the in-season tournament a few weeks earlier, he started the game out red hot, hitting tough shots and cooking the Nuggets defense. However, most if not all of these shots were coming in isolation, making this not a consistent way to generate offense on a night-to-night basis. As every game passes, it becomes more and more clear to me that James Harden was not the right fit for this team. With 4 ball-dominant players on the same roster, it is truly tough to do anything offensively that isn't an isolation play. Only a few games into the Clippers run with James Harden, Russell Westbrook put his hand up to come off the bench, which at the time was a promising sign. However, the Clippers looked better without Harden when it was in fact Westbrook running the offense. With the Clippers last season, Russell Westbrook averaged nearly 8 assists per game. James Harden made it clear already that he came here to score the ball, which isn't something the team needs, as Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are the main scorers. With James Harden coming in and demanding to be the system and the primary scorer, it makes the team very dysfunctional. With Russ in the starting 5, the Clippers look to push the tempo and find the open man for easy looks in transition. However, with James Harden in the lineup, it's been a much slower approach, looking to isolate, come off screens, and play a half-court offense. And in turn, the Clippers offense looks very stagnant at times. However, one of the positives for this Clippers team has been how good the defense has been. As in the 5 games leading up to the clash with the Nuggets, the Clippers defense ranked 1st overall. With solid defensive contributors such as Kawhi, PG, and Norman Powell, Paul George is recording 1.8 steals per game, which translates to the 8th highest mark across the league behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who averages 2.2 steals per game. Another positive has been the recent play of James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. Harden has shot 40% from 3 on the season, as whenever Harden has the ball, he has looked solid offensively, while being able to play and make, proving his worth. Kawhi has continued his shooting efficiency from the season prior, connecting on 38% of his triples. Kawhi is getting into the passing lanes and is also averaging 1.6 steals per game, helping the Clippers to earn more possessions. However, something that the Clippers need to do more of is get out and transition. This was no problem for LA when it was Westbrook at the controls, but since his time coming off the bench and Harden in the starting lineup, the pace has dropped, resulting in clunky possessions filled with isolations and difficult shots. Even if the Clippers could just kick the ball around the perimeter once a possession, to be able to attack the weak side, but they don't even do that right now, making it very hard to find consistent and effective scoring. Kevin Garnett made a statement about this team on his podcast, and I agree with him, as he said that Harden should be coming off the bench instead of Westbrook. With Harden off the bench, he's now the system and the primary scorer for that lineup, while you could still play him down the stretches of games, as he's proven himself to be a timely shot maker when the games are on the line. With Harden off the bench, he would have the ultimate green light, as we could see him return to his Rockets form off the bench, making the Clippers one of the best teams in basketball. James Harden would be in the Manu Ginobili role coming off the bench for the Clippers, as when the bench units were on the floor, the Clippers would likely dominate these minutes, increasing their leads with the starters off the floor. Unfortunately, I couldn't see this happening as Harden's ego is too big, as he wouldn't come off the bench for this team, and you're not going to bench a guy who's on $34 million annually over a guy who's only earning $4 million. Now let's discuss the best case scenario for this Clippers team this season. In the best case scenario, this team stays injury free and builds chemistry. If egos didn't exist, Harden would be off the bench. However, this is not happening, so LA will need to make it work with him in the starting lineup. If the Clippers play at a faster pace and learn how to play off of each other, I could see this team finishing as the 4 or the 5 seed. In this scenario, they would likely face off against the Lakers or maybe even the Oklahoma City Thunder if they continue that great form. It wouldn't matter if they were the lower seed, as every game would be a home game, as the Lakers and the Clippers shared their home court. If James Harden plays at a high level and the Clippers' chemistry is at bare minimum solid, the series would be a tightly contested one, as the Clippers are stacked with talent. But a lot would have to go their way to beat the Lakers. In the best case scenario, I see the Clippers beating the Lakers in roughly 6 games and going to face the 1 seed in the second round, which would likely be the Denver Nuggets. With a full strength matchup, I honestly don't see the Clippers getting past the reigning champs. The Clippers would need Harden to outscore Murray, and there's no way Ivica Zubac can take down Nikola Jokic. This would leave Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to outscore Jokic and try and get into passing lanes to keep the Joker's assist totals down. If all this goes in their favor, the Clippers should pull out a 6 to 7 game series and be back in the conference finals. This is where I believe their run would most definitely end, as they would have to take on the Phoenix Suns. In a fully healthy matchup, I don't see a world where the tandem of Durant, Booker, and Beal get outscored by Harden, PG, and Kawhi. And recent injuries in previous seasons to George and Leonard would also make it a tough ask. When fully healthy, the Suns are better at basically every position, as they would take Beal over Harden, Booker over Man or Westbrook, Durant over George, and Nurkic over Zubac. The Clippers would have the upper hand on the defensive side of the ball. However, if this Suns team is clicking offensively, it won't matter, as Durant, Booker, and Beal will torch any defense in the league. The Suns would likely send the Clippers home in a 6-game series. Where do you see the Clippers finishing this season, and are they a real title contender? I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below.